Hey, what up guys? This is Matt from After the Round. If you want to just get straight into the course vlog, just click the timestamps below. But for my first impressions, before I give them, I just want to clarify something. I am not qualified in any way to teach the golf swing or to even teach you how to use a specific training aid device. All of my information I reference from George Gankas' website or his content or his YouTube videos. So I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, you should be doing X, Y, and Z, because I'm not qualified to do that. I am in the same position as you. I am learning through watching and trying to go do the things that are being taught in videos from George Gankas. I was debating if I really wanted to actually post this video because there's going to be people out there saying, oh yeah, you're not doing this correctly or you're not doing this in the right way. But from my perspective, I'm just trying my best to implement what is being taught by the source material that is out there from George Gankas. So that being said, first impressions, I end up picking up more distance. Maybe it's because with the shallower, for me personally, it promotes more of a draw bias ball flight. That being said, I didn't really hit that many shots that solidly. I didn't really feel like, man, oh, I appeared that, or I felt way more confident in my ball striking after, hitting with the Gbox Shallower while I was wearing it. For the chipping and putting, don't think it's a factor really at all. Was kind of funny just to use it for chipping and putting because I was too lazy to take it off. Another thing that I realized was that the backswing, turning back, following one of the drills, again, from George Gankas, is that he does this called like the splitter or something, where you go up and you split your arms a little bit to get a good turn, and then on your way on the downswing, you reconnect your arms with the training aid. And so I feel like following that's the main swing thought that I followed throughout the round, with mixed success, but I feel like I did definitely gain some yardage there. So like I said, stick around for the course vlog. I'll be doing a voiceover for that. Let's hit the course and see how I did. All right, taking out the shallower for 9 holes. Let's go. So for this first drive, I actually hit it pretty decent. It's going to go up the left-hand side with a little bit of a draw. The trajectory on the shot tracer was a little higher than the actual trajectory. It was more of a bullet. This next shot, this 5-wood, I just flared out to the right. Didn't hit it too great. Hit it into the the crappy area off to the side, but almost pin even. Chipping with the shallower, interesting experience, but didn't hurt me or help me. As you can see, kind of disappointed with this chip. Putting with the shallower, kind of the same thing, didn't hurt or help. And tap in for par. So moving on to the next hole, even score. As you can see, taking a practice swing, trying to get shallow here. Ended up hitting a really good 5-wood, probably the best off the tee shot of the day. So yeah, thumbs up for that. Next up, took my normal length club into this green and ended up pulling it to the left a little bit, but I hit it super far. I don't think I've ever been this far on this hole past the green. So once again, chipping with the shallower, chipping over the green, hopefully just to get a kick on the hill or something because it's a blind shot. Chipped it on and have no idea where it went. Not a bad kick, but putting up there, trying to save par, but no dice. Rocking the 2-ball again, guys. It's happening. So 1 over through 2, no complaints. Next up, I hit a huge draw on this one, pull hook rather, and I ended up over the trap on the left, so no harm. Next up, this was probably one of the better approaches that I had. So I ended up just taking a nice little swing here, kind of quick on the downswing, but I ended up putting it pretty close. So good look at birdie, and just barely missed it short. So par here, no complaints about a par, right? Next up was probably the first bad swing that I put. Did a couple backswing practices, as you can see. Ended up just blading it right across the green. It was a terrible swing. Don't know exactly what happened there, but I have a lot of work to do now. All right, chipping again with the shallower. My first thought was just get onto the green, over the trap, and don't be short. So there it goes. There goes my chip. And overall, not terrible, but could have been closer, but I didn't want to flirt with the trap at all. Just get onto the putting surface. Long next putt here, so I'm just trying to get a 2-putt just to save the bogey. Not a terrible lag putt, and we're in for a bogey. So 2 over through 3, time to go to the next hole. This one was a huge sweeping draw, and I hit it pretty high into the air, as you can see. Not a terrible result, but definitely did not hit this solid. So, okay result. The feeling of it, not that great. Moving on to the next shot. This is probably another good approach that I had. As you can see, still trying to get shallow here with the practice swing. I think this was a gap wedge. Hit it decently close to the pin. Probably one of the best shots feeling-wise that I had. Here comes the putt. Thought I had a good roll at it. It was just an average putt. And then cleaned it up for par. 2 over, not bad. So next up, kind of another sweeping draw that I'm not used to playing. You know, I have been working on my swing and have been implementing a draw, but I think this accentuates it and makes it even more severe. Not a great contact and not a great feeling. Next up, another shot just like on the par 3 where I bladed, and you'll see coming up. You hate to see it. Not good. Next up, end up pulling it a little bit to the left. Got a chip on. Hit it way too hard for where I was, but I just want to get on the putting surface. And then actually saved my bogey, so can't complain about that in the slightest. Coming up is another par 3. As you see, I'm really practicing to try to get shallow here, but like I said earlier in the video, I'm carrying it a little bit further than I'm used to. So even though I take a club down, I end up in the trap in the left, which is past the flag. So now I have a sand shot with the shallower on, and actually hitting up a pretty good sand shot. So yeah, end up cleaning up the par, sandy par, loving it. Next up, another sweeping high draw thing that, you know, honestly doesn't feel that great. I mean, it's a huge draw. I was aiming way to the right, and you know, I was just playing my miss, and you know, it wasn't that great, and it felt pretty bad actually. Next up, again, hitting it dead left with a little draw. So I'm like in the junk on the left hand side. Could barely find my ball, so I just ended up chipping it on. Pretty far putt just to try to save par. And at this point there's some people behind me and I needed to get off the green. So even though there's people in front of me as well, I was kind of pinched in between two groups. Ended up getting the bogey. Alright, for this next drive I wanted to hit it pretty hard, and you know, since the last swing of the day off the tee, I ended up aiming far right. And as you can see, it's a huge sweeping draw. I mean, basically it's a hook. Not playable at all, but it probably rolled out quite a bit. Next up was just my hybrid. It's my favorite club in the bag, so I wanted to hit something that I usually make good contact with. And I ended up just hitting it pretty thin and with a lot of topspin. And as you can see, I hit it pretty far. I was supposed to lay up, but you know, with this hybrid, it came up to this position. My chip looked good in the beginning, but it ended up rolling out past the hole. And this is my birdie attempt. And oh, you hate to see it. So overall, not bad. Pretty good day out there, but lots of work to do with the shallower. All right, as you can see, I didn't do terrible from a scoring perspective. I did play from the back tees, but San Jose Muning is not the toughest of courses. But yeah, there were some shots out there that I definitely carried more than I anticipated. So to give some perspective, I would club down thinking, okay, I'm hitting a little bit further, and then I would just hit it even past my target after clubbing down. So that kind of gives a perspective of how much further I was hitting it on some shots. Maybe it's because I was, you know, doing a bladed, you know, high blade drawing ball flight that was making it go that much further with like no spin. I'm not sure. But that being said, I did hit some close and they did feel okay. But overall, I didn't feel like I pured any shot out there. So yeah, I think the one thing about this swing training aid is it's teaching a downswing mechanic, whereas opposed to the original Gbox, it was more teaching a backswing mechanic and a rotational, you know, turning mechanic. And most anyone will benefit from a good turn, a proper turn, which the original Gbox promoted. Whereas like if you're getting into a downswing mechanic, that's like, man, you're getting into an instructor's like ethos of how he sees the swing going for an individual and how he wants to teach it. So, downswing is a little bit tougher, I feel like, and you could see in some of my shots they didn't go so great. With the training aid on, it was a lot more harder to hit ball solidly. I tried at the range hitting it a few more times without the swing aid, and I was actually hitting it pretty good. But maybe I was just swinging my regular swing. So, hard to say. But overall, I think, I'm going to take some more time with both the Gbox and the Gbox Shallower. And hopefully it sees some improvements in my overall game. Some of my videos that I've posted that you've seen haven't been playing that great. So, yeah. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I'll see you in the next one.